lungs hold grief. Interesting. So over the 6-month period, I just kept seeing, it was like sometimes just being aware of something is enough, right? To just say no to it. And so these things would come up and I was more aware of them. And over 6 months, the dream began to change. So then the next time I would have the dream, I was trying to see my accoster, you know. And then the next time I'd have the dream, I had a dagger, but I wasn't really trained in using it, so I really couldn't take care of myself. Then the next time I had the dream, I had a lightsaber, and I just kicked his butt and never had the dream again. But see how it was a process of healing. And that dream recurred for 6 months until I walked through all of that healing. And I never had any issues with my kidneys or with any of those areas of in my body, but you can be affected physically by emotional pain, right? That's just kind of the way it works. How many of you have bathroom dreams? Everybody has bathroom dreams. No? Where you need to go to the bathroom, you can't get there, right? I can't find the bathroom. Or you're sitting on the toilet and the whole world is watching. How many of you have had those dreams? It's like, oh my God, again. Right? Dreams in the bathroom are about eliminating. Right? Listen to the language. They're about releasing things that you don't need any longer. Because all the nourishment has come out of your food and you eliminate what's no longer needed. Right? Isn't that brilliant? I just love that. So sometimes when you're trying to find the bathroom but you can't find the bathroom, you're needing some inner healing, some emotional or physical or even psychological healing, or sometimes you're just needing some deliverance from something you just haven't figured out how to let go of. And so that's what the bathroom is about. But not being able to find the bathroom just means, or you can't get there quick enough. I have those dreams too, right? It's like, oh my gosh. But not being able to find the bathroom means you cannot find a way to find peace in those issues. So dreams will bring up areas in your life that need emotional healing. And if it's all down here in your subconscious and you're not aware of it, well, what are you going to do with it? How do you respond to that? Right? There's no way, because you're not even aware. I went for years not being aware that my dreams meant anything. And then finally it was like, oh my gosh. And I am a major dreamer. Like, I'm an epic dreamer. I have I dream novels. I do. I mean, I dream crazy dreams. You guys would be running out of here if I told you all my dreams, right? And I'll have 3 or 4, sometimes as many as 6 dreams in a night. And I write them all down. Because I'm looking for whatever, and sometimes direction and strategy and things for the next season or the next moment. All my direction comes in dreams. So I'm always listening to my dreams. But you learn to process them quickly, right? So processing is important. Okay, I had this great dream one time. This is about generational cleansing. I love this dream. I used to be a medical laboratory technician. And so in the dream, I'm washing blood cells. So what you do is you take, you draw the blood, the phlebotomist draws the blood. So I had drawn blood from someone, but it was from me. It was my own blood. And I put it in the tube, right? And I filled it with saline. That's salt water. That's how you cleanse your blood cells, right? That's the way they do it in the lab. And then I put it in the centrifuge, and you turn it on, and all of the cells, that's the sediment, right? So they all go to the bottom, and then all of the liquid inside your, the serum inside your blood, that all flows to the top, and the blood cells actually go to the bottom. So you keep washing the cells until the cells are completely clean, right? Now, what's interesting is, in my life, what was going on was, I was being sort of held down by some people. You know what I'm saying? Just sort of control, manipulation. Nobody's ever experienced any of that, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody trying to shut my mouth, trying to take my voice, trying to take my identity. And the sedimentation the cells settling in the bottom of the tube meant I was settling for less than my true destiny. Oh my gosh, we settle for so much less than who we are sometimes, right? And washing the cells was cleansing my generational line so that I could step, because my mother was like me. She could have been a speaker and she could have done a lot of things that she really never did. She died at 63, which I consider very young. But you youngsters, well, I know you think we're old, but right? But she died very young. But she never actually stepped into the fullness of who she was because of the woundings that I mentioned before, right? She was pressed down. She was controlled. She never actually got to be the fullness of who she was. So I then come along and I want to be everything I'm supposed to be. I don't want to settle, right? I don't want to settle, and I don't want to die early, and I don't want to die before I fulfill my purpose, right? Because we're all created with purpose, with intent, right? You're supposed to be affecting, right? Affecting in a positive way, affecting the earth and all the people in it, right? So that's why I keep pushing forward, because I don't want to settle anymore. But that dream led me to some things that reminded me of what my mother had gone through. She was raised in an old world Italian family where, you know, it was a different world. It was a different world, right? So those were some dreams that I was really affected by. And I was so glad that the brilliance of my dreams were bringing that stuff up so that I could get inner healing. Because I was all knotted up and I didn't even know why. I couldn't figure out why I was afraid of things. And I was under a lot of fear. And that healing came through my dreams, which was very interesting. And it's not hard when it comes through your dreams. You know, I think of deliverance and healing, and I'm like, I don't really want to go there. I mean, it sounds messy, like going to the bathroom, right? That doesn't sound like fun, right? I mean, that's what that's about. But really, when it's happening in your dreams, and you get those 411s and you respond, you know how to respond, then it's this easy, it's much easier than we would make it. Because we love to make things hard, right? We're good at making things hard. So, what I want to tell you about is, okay, people ask me questions like, how do you know if a dream is meant for or given for healing? You know, because there are lots of different types of dreams. So when you have a dream, how do you know that you need to be looking at it for what's in it for healing, right? So there are several things that will happen. The dream itself, it's going to cause your emotions to be triggered. Something's going to come up and you're going to feel very passionate about something, right? You're going to feel offended or triggered or wounded, right? That's one of the ways you're going to know that dream is really about healing, and you need to be aware of what's there and do something with it, okay? Yeah, it's going to bring up like if you have a dream and you wake up and say you dream about your spouse. Now remember, 99% of all dreams are symbolic, right? So say you dream, now some people dream very literal dreams, but most people don't. But say you're married and you dream your spouse is running around on you. And you wake up mad at your spouse, male or female, because, well, that person was running around on you in the dream, right? Now, bottom line is it really isn't about your spouse. It's about a covenant or some agreement that you're in that's not attending to you. In other words, you don't feel like you're getting your needs met because attention is going other areas. You sort of following me? It's not really probably about your spouse. I'm not saying you couldn't have a dream like that. I'm just saying usually that's not what it's about. But you wake up with this anger. Well, it could be that you fear abandonment. So if you are expecting and you're fearing abandonment, guess what happens? By law of attraction, you'll draw that in. It may not happen with your spouse, but it'll happen in some area of your life because you're setting those relationships up in your life for your children to abandon you or not like you anymore or not speak to you, or maybe it is your spouse, or maybe it causes distance. Are you with me? So we want to be careful that we're watching for those things. So if something comes up like the anger or the fear, those are the first places that I look. Fear is a big one though. It's a big one. And if you're having nightmares, then some type of opposition is trying to come either against your destiny, some element of your call, your purpose, right? And trying to hold that down or keep you limited in some area, and or it's something you're expecting to happen. Again, it's that trigger. It could be connected to generational line where it's not even something you've ever experienced, yet you're expecting it. Right? It's so strange, the things that keep us limited and bound up, right? But we need to be free so that we can actually fulfill who we are. It might also cause you to emotionally disengage or distance yourself from relationships. Be that a friend, be that your children, because you're expecting abandonment. So better I leave you than you leave me. See, we set it up, right? Better I just do that. So those things will come up in your dream. When those dreams come up, then you know something needs to be dealt with, and that's when you start asking Creator, what is it that I'm missing? What do I need to be looking at? How do I get past that? And sometimes it's as easy as being aware that it's there and saying, I'm releasing you, I don't want it. Once you're aware that it's there, you only know what you know till you know something different. But once you can see that it's there, it's like, I'm letting that go, right? I'm letting it go. Sometimes it's a need to forgive someone else. That will affect you. That'll make you sick over time. It really will. So it's just brilliant the way your dreams will walk you through these things. But you have to have, the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And then you have to be willing, right? So, elements that affect your well-being or your spiritual health we talked about some of this, but unforgiveness is a big one. That's a huge one. People hold on to unforgiveness all the time. They don't realize what it's doing to their lives. And it'll kill you at some point, unforgiveness. Agreement with any sort of limitation, where we were raised in a culture where we were trained to conform to a specific, tradition or lifestyle or religion or whatever, right? Those limitations. When you're really wanting to be more open and open-minded and open to what's around you, and you want to release those limitations. We can't live under a limitation, right? You can't live fenced in. You got to live big, right? Dream big, live big, right? Settling. That settling, I guess, women do this, I think, more than men, but it happens with men as well. But we will be in a relationship or something, and we'll be sort of pressed down, and we'll be like, well, I want to keep the peace, I guess it's okay that I don't go out there and be the fullness of who I am because I don't want to leave my spouse behind. Settling. If you do that your whole life, at the end of your life, you're going to be looking back with a lot of regret and remorse. Right? If your spouse loves you, they're going to love you through the fullness of who you are, with their hands on your back or standing next to you saying, yeah, go be that. I'm right here. Go be that. Right? That's that healthy relationship. And I'm not talking about just a spouse. I'm talking about codependence in friendships and family. Happens everywhere. Happens all the time. Right? Okay. So, in processing your dreams, this is really, really important. In processing your dreams, one of the things that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to ask yourself 4 really important questions. You might want to write these down. The 4 questions that we always ask, I have an online school for intuitive gifts and for dreams. So we ask ourselves 4 different questions. Now, if it's your own dream, but every dreamer needs the answers to these 4 questions to really know what the dream's about. And without those answers, you're kind of like, well, that was an okay interpretation, but what do I do with that?